Our question of the day comes from Corey in Fort Lauderdale. Dave, I run a small service-based business, and our margins have been tightening lately with rising costs. I want to stay profitable, but I also don't want to cut in places that hurt my team or our customer experience. When money gets tight, what are the first expenses a business owner should take a hard look at, and what should be off limits? Actually, I look at it the other way. I don't look at what expenses there are. I look for revenue opportunities. What other lines of business do I need to add, and how do I raise my prices? Because if you're running a service-based business and your margins are tightening because costs are going up, that means you did not raise your prices. And everybody else in your business raised their prices because they didn't want their margins tightening. So rising costs generally mean rising prices for the delivery. That's true. So like we're printing a book on the 5 stages of business, building a business you love. It costs a lot more to print that book now with paper costs than it did 10 years ago. If I'd done that book 10 years ago, it would have cost half what it costs now to produce that book. So what do? I raise the price on the book. Hardback books are now $32. They used to be $22. And before that, they were $17. And so, but that's based on the cost of the production of the book and the soft costs it takes to develop and put out a book, service-based stuff. So same thing. So we raised the price. And so did everybody else, by the way. So look on Amazon. Average hardback book in the self-improvement space is about $32, $34. And that's kind of shocking to me because it was $22, $24 forever. And before that, it was $17, and before that, it was $12. So, but that's all based on rising costs. And so generally, people raise prices when their cost of production, cost of providing the service goes up. Case in point, a hotel to hire maids and to hire servers in the restaurant and to hire front desk people, it costs them a whole lot more than it did before COVID just 5 years ago. So guess what? Your hotel room costs a lot more. Ta-da! And you know what we call that? Inflation. That's what we call it. That's where it comes from. So, this is, increased tariffs do not cost companies money. Companies raise prices equal to tariffs. And so they pass the tariff cost on to the customer. Increased costs do not cost companies money. They pass it on to the customer in the form of higher prices. That's basic econ. And that's what you're going to need to do first, Corey. Secondly, look at a different way to some other services or other products you can add to your line to create more revenue. And then I don't have to look at what I cut. What is it I cut? Because you're probably not, I run a small service-based business. You probably don't have a lot of fluff. You probably don't have a lot of overhead that's just miscellaneous stupid stuff. But go through your P&L every month and go, where's every dollar going? Is every dollar an investment? Is every dollar helping us raise the bar here? Is every dollar what it takes to provide it? Or we got, are we spending $500 to put a green plant in the lobby? Well, I can do away with that maybe, but nobody's ever in the lobby. Hello. So, what? I don't know. What is it? For something like that, that's fine, but that's usually not what causes success. Most businesses managing expenses and turning them only into investments causes success, but not cutting expenses. You can't cut your way into success, usually. There's a few times that comes up that's possible, but most of the time that's not it. So generally speaking, it's an increase in revenue from prices going up and extra lines being added. And then go through the P&L with a fine-tooth comb and see what tangles are in there that you can untangle. But in a small business, I don't run into entrepreneurs that are extremely wasteful in a small business. Waste comes when things get big and it gets bureaucratic and people don't think about what they're spending because they think the company's got plenty of money and they just that's when waste happens. But when you're small and scrappy, most of the team is small and scrappy with the expenses. They're not out of control because they know that means the place stays open that hired them. And that's a big, big deal there. So good question, Corey. We appreciate you joining us from Fort Lauderdale.